Hey guys, this is John Callum from Kuhol Garage, and I want to make this video to update you on the latest developments here at the garage. We are still continuously working on our project Corolla Longnose here on the over my shoulder here, the silver car. We have shared it to a few Facebook groups with mixed feedback. And I'll discuss that later on in this video. But for now, let me take you around this car and the other things that we have going on. So with that, let's go. So this is the updated side profile of the car. Definitely the car needs to be lowered. We might retain the wheels because we cannot afford to buy bigger wheels for now. But I think you saw the car last on 15, so now these are 17s from a Mazda 3. It just needs chunkier tires so that we could already start figuring out the ride height. This is going to be the side view, more or less, alright? So I'd like to focus on a few things. Here, the front fender is basically a cut and paste job. Feedback from the internet, from the Western people, that the gap between the front wheel well and the door gap is called the prestige gap. So the longer the prestige gap, the more high value the car is, so to speak, because you could see in cars like the Jaguar E-Type, the gap between the front wheel well and the door gap, those things are huge. So this one is about probably 1.5 to 2 feet long. I haven't measured it. Feedback also from the internet. We are going to have a grill over here. This is going to be grilled up. And then we decided to make a character line following this body line of the Corolla, extending it here and then cutting up this fender. This fender part is now a separate piece. And this one, we will be making it integrating this section of the fender into the running board, so we will make new running boards at the bottom. I think this is just going to be the side profile of the car, and hopefully if this car is lowered and then I utilize thicker sidewall tires, I think this car will look great. I think the proportions, the lines are okay for now. Don't mind the welds. They're already rusting. It's already the rainy season here in the Philippines. So, it's already starting to rust. We're gonna do something about that pretty soon. We have installed taillights on the back of this car. These are some sort of Sprinter JDM taillights. You could see here, the line on the rear quarter panel is different. This was previously modified already to fit these taillights. You could see the taillights are not in a very good condition. They're cracked. But anyway, it's there. Instead of trying to adapt the Philippine spec taillights, we'll just maintain using this one. We're just gonna acquire a new pair of taillights. We're thinking what center garnish we're gonna put on the trunk lid. I like the look of the Sprinter taillights with just the taillights without the center garnish, so we'll figure that out. Front side view of the car, you could already see that we've already fitted the front fascia of the car, basically using Toyota Bigbody components like the front bumper, grille, headlight, signal light. Still lacking a clearance light here. We will be putting a clearance light, and my plan is to put a front chin on this car. That's gonna be basically the look of the car. The hood, this is basically 2 Corolla hoods that we have joined together so that we could extend the front part of the car. The stock hood would have normally terminated here, and so we've added this whole other hood. So basically the front end is what? Approximately 2 feet longer than stock. And that allows us to accommodate either a bigger engine, a longer engine mounted longitudinally, or use a short engine also mounted longitudinally but mounted front midships. Alright, so I've opened the hood to show you guys what is up with the engine bay. Okay, first of all, the hood. And so the hood is mounted already affixed to or OEM hood hinges. So this swings up and down. The hood is obviously very heavy. Temporarily braced using this flat pieces of bar. But it's already completely welded. We would gusset this one further. I don't know if these pieces of metal, these 3 pieces of metal are permanent thing. But for now, let's just leave it there. But the hood is more or less strong enough. We could make it a little bit more stiffer, but you can see it's very, very long. This is the engine bay. I'm using the tripod, and it goes, and it goes, and it goes. Normally, the firewall is about here, right? Where my hand is. That's where the stock firewall is, and we have added so much space at the back. We are mounting for now the 4G63 engine behind the front cross member up to a new firewall over here, using painted sheet metal over here, making it rigid and fire safe. And on this section in front of the front cross member, we're gonna put the radiator, battery, maybe put the fuel tank here, I don't know. But most likely, in the interest of improving weight distribution, rearward will probably put heavy stuff at the back, like the fuel tank, battery, or whatever. We're not yet finalized there. But yeah, the engine bay is very massive. We still need to buy a pair of doors, right? These doors are just door shells. We need to populate the doors with glass, sidings, and whatever trim pieces needed so that this really becomes a fully functional door. Then you could see the work that we have done for the firewall. We are still having to figure out eventually our pedal position, steering wheel position. But before we are able to do that, we have to put seats. And before we put seats, we need to already locate the gear shifter location. And once we're able to locate the gear shifter location, we'll be able to put seats. But to locate the gear shifter position, we have to start installing the engine and the transmission here. So we're almost at that stage, so that we can already start to put in much of the interior. But for now, it's still bare bones, slightly rusty, crusty. And you could see here where we welded. This is where we welded the Corolla body on top of the running board of the original Mazda 929 Kia Potentia. So this cockpit is going to be quite rigid, and we're gonna make it even more rigid because we're going to be putting some roll cage to the rear part of the cockpit. So this project is still very far off from being done, but eventually this car will get there.
Okay, so guys, in the spirit of trying to promote the YouTube channel and also trying to share with people what we are currently doing here at the garage, I decided to share with certain groups in Facebook about the project that we're currently doing. Western group called Body Swaps, Unibody Chassis and Body Swaps. Actually, this group has been the inspiration to what we could do with this car. Instead of just junking the Corolla, junking the Mazda 929 Kia Potentia, whatever it is, instead of junking these two cars, what about just amalgamating the two of them into one crazy build? I mean, we're trying to build the channel here, so I guess you guys have to just respect the grind. You may not like the project, but I hope that you appreciate the effort. So we posted in Grupo Toyota, and we posted it here on Body Swaps. It was a very interesting set of comments, right? What I posted in Filipino, in English is, hi, we are building a custom two-door Toyota Bigbody. So we call the AE101 Corolla the Bigbody in the Philippines. So we're making a custom two-door Bigbody that would be rear-wheel drive, and then the engine will be like some sort of 4AGE. It kind of looks like a 4AGE, maybe. Pretty favorable comments. People are asking, did we increase the length of the front end? So yeah, so I basically said yeah. This is a common comment even from the international group. Hindi pa habain ng doors. Will you not extend the front doors? For us, that's big. That's a big hassle, right? So you have to make custom glass, adjust the mechanisms of the door glass to come up and down still and accommodate the longer glass, modify the door shell. It's a to do, all right, and it's gonna be so difficult to have everything aligned in the end of that. That's a big job just for visual appropriateness, so to speak. Just keeping the front doors as it is would just make it simpler, and I don't think it looks that bad, in my opinion. So actually, we've been working on this project. We basically started cutting up last year, roughly a year ago, and much progress has been made for the past 2 months. We probably started. Well, it says here May, but we probably started sometime in April of 2025, right? And then we've been working on it off and on, but a bit continuously for the past month. Now, June 6, there has been several updates since that time, and it's more or less what you see in the video. We were able to render it on ChatGPT, but people are commenting a lot in the international groups. I guess people in these international groups are just commenting for in Tagalog we call it KSP, mga kulang sa pansin, naghahanap ng pansin. People are just gluttons for attention, like me. But how people attract attention, they try to write nasty things, which I don't necessarily do. All right, so kind of disheartening, but that this is the internet. I understand also that other YouTube creators, don't believe the good and don't believe the bad comments and don't take everything to heart. So we're also doing the same here. But of course, for the purposes of creating a video, I am telling you guys their comments. And since this is a public group and they have freely posted their negative comments, then it is free for us also to comment on their comments. Okay? So these are the pictures that we have shown. So people do, common question is, what are you gonna do with the windows? Alright, what are we gonna do for the back windows? The plan is to have custom windows made. If there is a budget, we know somebody here in the Philippines that makes custom automotive windows. I think Unicorn Glass is the name of the company, based in Caloocan. But what we're going to do for budgetary reasons, effort reasons, we're just going to probably have acrylic glass cut instead. And maybe we'll just have it protected by PPF or something. And definitely we're gonna be tinting it from the inside. Nasty comment by this joker. Are you blind? Maybe. I did post an updated render of the car. Render is closer. The prestige gap, as the Western people say, is still lacking in the render, but you could appreciate the long nose concept that we're doing, and I think it make it very clear for everybody what we believe the car will look like. So the previous, a lot of comments did say that this was the initial render that we have uploaded. Yeah, it looks like a Honda of some kind. Looks like a Prelude, a two-door Legend. Comment by this Facebook user. We had a good discussion. If you had the time, skill, and funds to take on a project like this, why not choose a vehicle that would be worthwhile? We had a discussion. His dream when he retires, Marco Sosa's dream is to make a replica of the Gullwing, which is great and all. That's not our objective. For this project, we don't really want to copy other people. I mean, the concept of this car is that can we just make something out of cars that we're just going to junk anyway and have a little bit of fun and see what we could make. You guys have to understand a bit of the Filipino culture. You guys don't know because you guys are Westerners. We, as Filipinos, like the Cubans, make do with the cars that we have, especially when times were very, very difficult. You guys left us with vehicles that it would cost you so much to bring back home to your country, and then you just left it as junk, as surplus goods. And we Filipinos had no public transportation. Everything was decimated by the American liberation of the Second World War. And so we had to rely on your army surplus jeeps to go around, both for private use and for public conveyance. And so we are so used to making our own vehicles like the jeepneys that you see plying along Philippine roads and which people ride to get to their destinations. And that is derived from garbage, your garbage. And so if we're going to make garbage of our own derived from garbage, please don't fault us. We're just going to try to make it as nice as we could possibly make it with the limited talents, finances, and abilities that we possess. Okay, this needs a 4-rotor swap. Yes. I checked. I think a 4-rotor would at least be a 50,000 US dollar build. People can correct me. I don't know the exact value, but 50,000 US is like the price of my house. Practically. 50,000 US is basically my mortgage in my house. Not possible. I mean, I don't hate rotaries. It's just not possible. Because my dream engine actually is a V8, something like a 1UZ. We don't get a lot of American V8s, so it would be very tempting to just LS this one. But I'm sure you guys will have even less respect for an LS swap or a small block Chevy swap. But anyway, those engines are like rare also here in our country. So 1UZ would be a bit easier to source. If I really try, I'm sure I could buy one. But that's a lot of money. But what I already have a 4G63 6-bolter with a rear-wheel drive transmission. So most likely we will use the 4AGE look-alike. Okay? The comment is lower the roof line. We will lower the car. Don't worry. It will hopefully look low slung. Well, if we lower the car 3 to 4 inches, we're gonna make some coilovers for it. Okay, put down the pipes, step away from the welder. We don't do this, or I don't do this. Don't worry. I like this one very much. It's really this really matches what the car kind of looks like now. Ugly, up to you. 2JZ an option? Yes. But the 2JZ is actually more expensive than the 1UZ. So if I'm gonna go change the engine from the 4G63 that we have planned, I'll just go 1UZ, make the effort. I think I could get a 1UZ with a manual transmission way cheaper than I could get a 2J with a manual transmission. Lower the roof, bro. Yeah, we're gonna lower not only the roof, the whole car. Okay, somebody commented in Spanish. We were conquered by the Spanish. I don't speak Spanish. But Martin made a comment using that art to work. Basically, I think what he's trying to say is that this is like our portfolio for being a tinsmith, or we call it in Filipino latero. what they call it apparently in Spanish is como planchador de auto, car ironer. And this one, I'd like to thank Gerald Schmick for his hand render of the car. We did his render. We did follow this detail and we copied this one. Once we saw this one, we emulated it. So what we're going to do also, we're going to also be fabricating a new running board. So this one will be one piece. So you would have seen it in the video that this is exactly what we've done, and then we will make this one a mesh. So I'd like to thank Gerald for the comment. This is, and the effort for hand sketching it. This is kind of what we're gonna make the car look like. So thanks for the faith and the effort, Gerald. But a lot of people are very appreciative. The wild, keep at it. Thank you, Fabian. So was this a Corolla whose chassis was shrunk to accommodate a body or what? No, just to clarify. We used the platform of the Mazda 929, which has a 107-inch wheelbase, and we plopped over a Toyota Corolla body, which has a 97-inch wheelbase, but we shrunk it between the B and the C pillar by 8 to 9 inches. So that allowed us to visually stretch the front and probably stretch about 20 to 24 inches. You guys can do the math. So that we could mount the engine midships and give the car a different form that hopefully will still look stock. That's the goal. Similar profile to an SL500. Yeah, that's the plan. SC300, that's what we're going to do. Okay, another effort by Matt Connor. Thank you so much, Matt. You're getting what we're planning to do. Thank you so much. Keep at it. It will look great when it's finished. That's what the hope is. A friend from the Philippines, he's basically saying, should maybe you want to do 11. This is your concept that you want to do. You want to do Toyota 11 two-door. What I want to say is no. I could buy that car here, given a bit of money and a lot of time and opportunity. That's not what I'm going for. Favorable comment. Give props. Not my cup of tea. Yeah, I understand, but thank you so much for appreciating the effort. I hope it's not a troll fake AI. Well, the AI image is generated by AI, but this is a real project. This is a real project, guys. Okay? Extend the doors, Frankensteinian, yes. I'm workshopping several nicknames for this car. Long nose, long body, Frankenstein, whatever. Final boss of prestige gaps. This is where I found out the concept of prestige gap. So, yeah, I had to research what the prestige gap was. Thank you so much for sharing your reactions. I guess we'll just continue this one, but we will be taking a break from this car. We're gonna do some other projects here at the shop. This is the end of my reaction video to your comments. If this is content that you like or you don't like, please let me know. If this is something I should continue, let me know. But for now, that's it. I'd like to thank you so much for those who liked it. For those who don't like it, eat crow. I'll see you guys on the next installment of Project Corolla, long nose, long body, etc. Ciao.